everyone. So today we're going to talk about Share for Review feature in Photoshop 2023. This is a feature which is going to save you hours because you can use this power to get your comments, review, feedback from your clients, stakeholders, or whomsoever you work with, and get those comments back right where you need it within Photoshop itself. And let's quickly dive in and see how you can use the Share for Review feature and save hours of time for yourself. Let's get started. So let's assume you're working on a project in Photoshop. It could be any kind of document that you're working in, and you're kind of close for the completion, and you're thinking if you're done or if you need to change anything. Do you need some sort of feedback or comments from your peers, colleagues, managers, client, vendors, whomsoever you work with? So what is the best way for you to get the comments from them? Probably the traditional way of doing this is you export this file as a JPEG and or any other file format, and then you send your client, your vendor, whomsoever you work with, you send them an email, a WhatsApp message, or different ways of sending that JPEG to them, and then you ask them for the comments. And probably what they're doing is they're sending their comments back through the similar channel, maybe Slack, Teams, WhatsApp, email, I don't know, God knows what, but there's so many ways, and then they might be sending you those messages saying, can you change that, change this? And a lot of time it's very confusing because number one, you have to be really precise in terms of what do you want to change, right? So if they say, can you change that face, or can you change the brightness of that tree? You don't know. Maybe it's the tree. There are so many trees. Which one is that they are talking about, right? So it basically leaves the room for confusion if you're getting the feedback on the basis of like a text. But gone are the days. Those were the traditional, boring, slow methods of getting comments and feedback. Let's dive into Photoshop and see how you can do that now. It's as easy as clicking on the share button on the top right hand side. You see that here. And you can also see I'm working on Photoshop 2023. And the moment you click on share button, it gives you two options. The first one says invite to edit, and the second one says share for review. Now, you might be confused between which one to choose from here. Now, the first one, which says invite to edit, what it basically means, it means that you're asking someone to be an editor of this document. So maybe you need some sort of helping hand and you want someone else to be able to do some edits on your behalf while you're also in the control. So it's more or less like a collaboration and co-editing kind of feature, right? So that's not what you need in this scenario. What you need is the option number 2, which is share for review. Now, the moment you click on this, it says, okay, what should we give the name for this document when you're sharing it? So you can name it anything. It says business card because that's the name of the file. But you can name it anything that you find the best, right? After that, you have an option to choose who can access this document and who can start commenting. So the options are basically anyone with the link can comment back. So maybe you want to just keep it public and you want to be able to share it with anyone, and anyone and everyone should be able to comment back, whosoever has access to the link. Maybe that's the flexibility you want. Then there you go. And then you click on the create link button. However, you also have the option for changing the access to invite only people, right? Only invited people can comment. So when you do that, you have to put their email addresses, be really specific about the people or their email addresses of what you want the comments back from, right? So it totally depends on your scenario, how you want to take it forward, but just know that you have both the options there, okay? So let's just go with the first one here because there isn't any secretive here. So let's say who can access anyone with the link and comment back. create a link to capture feedback. There's a big blue button which says create link. Of course, I'm going to click on that. And what it really does, it's although this is a file which is a local file sitting on my hard drive, but it it connects that local file up with the cloud in a way that you're able to get your comments back into the same file. And let's see how it works, right? So right now, anyone with the link can comment. I have the link ready here. I can click on the copy to clipboard button right here on the right hand side, and then I can send this link to anyone using any of the methods that I've been doing before, right? So it could be WhatsApp, email, whatever I want to do. But what I want to show you here is I'm going to get into an incognito mode, like a private browser mode. And let's just imagine I'm wearing the hat of one of the commenters who've got the link from me, the owner of the document, and he clicks on the link. He sees that the same image, same document comes up on the browser itself magically. Right now, it doesn't need it to be a JPEG. You don't have to export it. You just click on the create link button, and you send the link to the other person. Now, this person opens the link, sees the document inside the browser itself. That reviewer or commenter doesn't need to have an Adobe license. He doesn't need to have Photoshop installed. He doesn't need to have even an Adobe account for that matter, right? So you can share it with anyone and everyone without worrying about whether or not they have the right license to do it, okay? Because you're the only one who needs a license. The reviewer doesn't need it, okay? So now he or she can see the business card, the document, that's all good. But what he or she can also do here, apart from just viewing the document, he or she can start commenting using the buttons or the features on the right hand side, right? So there are two things that I can do here. The first thing is I can draw a shape to be really specific about what I want to change, or I can place a pin to be specific about it, right? Or I can just do the commenting in general. So for example, looks good overall, and then I hit submit. Now at this point it says, hey, Mr. Commenter, I don't know who you are. So just to make sure that the other person, the owner of the document, knows who you are, how do you want to proceed? Do you want to do you want to continue as a guest and give yourself a name here so that he can recognize you? Or do you want to sign in and be really specific about who you are? So it's totally up to you how you want to continue. So I'm going to say, I'm going to just continue as a guest. So let's say his name is Saurabh, and then he will click to continue as a guest, right? And the reply comes up here on the right hand side. Now, Saurabh can be really specific about drawing shapes. He can click on this pencil button. He can choose the color that he wants to use for commenting. Green would be a contrast color, so let's just use that in this situation. And then he can say probably, can you increase the font of the first letter, for example, right? Maybe that's what he wants, right? So, and he wants to increase the font of the first letter. Now, you see, if this wouldn't be an option for me to draw, probably there will be a confusion. Which first letter are you talking about? Is it this first letter? Is it the first letter of your last name, or the first letter of your first name, right? So in this situation, you don't have to worry about that because, the commenter is going to be really specific about the change he wants to do through the drawing tools, right? So increase the font size of the first letter. In the similar fashion, he can use the pin option. He can pin things and be really specific about it. Can you change the color of this font to red, right? Something like that. So that's there. And then what else he can do? He can also assign tasks to different people. So all the people who've been signed in, who basically are collaborating using the sign in feature, can be given the task using the @ symbol, right? Right now, Saurabh didn't sign in with the email, but had he been able to sign in with a free Adobe account, he could be given a task as well. Basically, you can pin a person and say, this is a message for you specifically. For example, let's just assume that there are multiple people collaborating and putting comments back on the same document. I can be really specific and put an at symbol and say, you know, can and right now, because there are no people who are like kind of collaborating with a email address, but if that would be an option, you would have an option to put an at symbol. All the names will pop up here, and then you can choose that person and be specific about the comment. Maybe you want to give that job to someone else in the team that you're collaborating with. You can actually do that using the at symbol there. Okay. So that's the view of the commenter or the reviewer, how it's going to look like for him, or how he's going to interact with the comment feature. Of course, there is this button for info. If he wants to know more about when it was created, what's the size, what's a pixel, and those kind of stuff. And this is the only one page, one artboard. So you see there's only one option, one page option on the left-hand side. So that's all good. And you see I'm not yet signed in, so that's fine. And I'm still able to comment back as a commenter. Saurabh is still able to comment back on this document as a commenter or a reviewer using his name. So that's all good, right? Now let's switch hats again and go back to becoming the owner of the document in Photoshop and see how it's going to come back, how all these comments are going to come back to me as the owner of the document. So switching gears, becoming the owner of the document. Here we are in the Photoshop document back again. Just know that you don't need to have this document open for you to be able to start receiving comments. You can close it and do other things. And whenever you come back to this document, you will find your comments sitting here for you. Okay. So where do I see all the comments? You will see all the comments in the comments panel, which is right here, or you can access it through the window menu as well, right? So you should see comments here as well, right? So the moment I click on the comments button, right now it says no comments because it just takes a moment, as you can see. It takes a few seconds to kind of pop up all the comments and do the syncing. But the moment it does, you will see that, okay, Saurabh as a guest logged in and put 3 comments here. Looks good overall. Okay, I can click on the resolve button and kind of resolve this because there's no action item for me, right? So that's all good. The second one says, can you increase the font size of the first letter? Which first letter did he mention? I don't know. I can highlight and you can see it highlights on the screen. Even the annotation pops up on the screen in Photoshop for me so that it can be really specific in terms of what I need to change here. How cool is that, right? So, okay, he's asking me to change the font size. Either I can accept it or decline it, or maybe I want to say, no, this is the largest font size we can go for. Thank you. Maybe I'm being adamant about my design and I don't want to change it, right? So I don't make any changes, but I send a reply back saying it cannot be done, right? And maybe the other person agrees. He says, okay, because, the moment you do that, all these changes will start popping up and going back to that commenter or the reviewer as well. So basically, you're building up the list of comments back and forth on the same document, and it doesn't have to be just with one person. Just imagine you've shared this link with maybe 10 or 20 different people. You all will be building back. You all will be building the series of comments and review on the same document at the same time, right? So it's that cool. And then, I can switch gears and show you that right now it takes a moment to sync back, but you will see that the comment will start refreshing here. Let me do a quick refresh. And then you can see one of the comments have been gone, has been resolved by the owner. And you see one has been replied by the owner saying, no, it cannot be done. It's too large already. And then I can reply back, that's fine. We can remove or resolve this request. Okay, so he's a gentleman. He's saying that's fine. If you don't want to do that, I am not going to be mad about it. And yeah, let's just be the same person and say, yeah, this is fine. Just remove it for that matter, right? And that comment will go back to the person again, right? And then the moment he sees that, he can click on the resolve button and the message will be resolved, or the query or the request will be kind of sidelined there, right? In the similar fashion, you can see there is another request. It says, can you change the color of the font? Where do I see that pin? I see that pin highlighted here, right? So I can make the change here. I can say, okay, yeah, that's fine. I can do that. Let me change the color. And the way I like to do it, if you have seen my previous video, I always use library panel so that I can be on brand, making sure that I'm using the right colors for my project, right? So if you haven't checked it out, it's the video called as Creative Cloud Libraries in my channel. Go ahead and have a look there. But I'm going to use that red color that he asked for. And then I've changed it. Yes, I have, oops, I have changed the color to red. Thank you. Okay. And then I hit submit, and then I can resolve this comment as well, right? How cool is that? So that's how you basically start collaborating and getting review and feedback from other people right within Photoshop document. And you don't have to go through the traditional painful method of exporting the file, sending it to someone offline, and then getting all those comments back in the email and trying to make sense out of it, right? So gone are the days. This is the most efficient method up to date. Um, what else you can do here? If you don't want to share this document anymore, you can go back into the share mode, click on share for review, and then you will have other options in the more options button, right? So you see the three dots right besides the link. If you click on that, there's an option for you to delete this review link if you don't want to link it out anymore. You can change the link settings, or you can create a new link. Maybe you want to send it to someone else as a new collaboration document, and you want it to be separate from the previous collaboration, right? But it has to be the same document. You can create a new link for yourself as well. And what's also cool about it, you can also update the content. You don't have to create, once you make the changes, you want your collaborators, your reviewers to see the changes that you've done, right? So you don't want to create a new link and keep on sending the new links all the time. They can still continue to use the same link in their browser. They just have to click on it and see it, or just refresh it. But for you, what you need to do is once you've made the change, you will just click on the update content button, and it's going to push all the updates that you've done in your document onto the same link for your collaborators or reviewers to see, right? So that's all from my side about Share for Review. Go ahead and give it a try. It's all included in your Creative Cloud package. And this is available today in beta feature. And let me know if you have any thoughts about it. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat comment box. If you find this video helpful, please share and subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.